Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Tonight we're checking out a 2020 Lexus RX 350 at night. So this video specifically focuses on the interior and exterior lighting of the vehicle. Check my channel for the full overview and test drive videos, separate videos. So first off, I want to show you that you can turn off all the exterior lights using the DRL off position. So when I put the parking lights on, the extremely bright daytime running lights illuminate. And you can almost mistake these for headlights. They're very bright. I actually had to turn the camera down, the brightness, in order to, so it doesn't get blown out. I'm gonna put it to the regular settings here, and you can see how blown out they look. You can barely tell the shape. Just goes to show you how bright they are. And there's a side marker. It has a red side marker here in the back. The front one was amber. And here's your taillights. Really impressive. All LED. This vehicle is a full LED vehicle. And there's a turn signal, very bright LEDs. Goes all the way across here. Very large signal indicator. You also have a bright LED there on the side mirror as well. You can see it from the rear as well as the side. Here it is in the front, and it's an amber color in the front and the back. So you can see with this camera, the daytime running light completely drowns out the turn signal. There it is with the brightness turned down a little bit, so you can see how it contrasts the white. When I turn the low beams on, it actually dims the daytime running light down a little bit, and we have these 3 LED projector tubes. So hopefully you can see in there, they focus the beam and they work really well. And then you have a LED reflector fog light here at the bottom. You also have a cornering light in there as well. Here's with the camera adjusted a little bit so you can see hopefully a little bit better from being so blown out. When you turn the high beams on, it's really kind of hard to tell from the front, because it just basically refocuses these projector tubes to be higher and more spread out. But the view that you have sitting in the driver's seat is fantastic at night. It just really illuminates everything in front of you like daylight. There's low beams, there's high beams. So looking over here, there's high beams, there's low beams. Now, we look at a wall, so you can actually see the cutoff there. High beams and low beams. The cargo area is actually pretty decent. It has illuminated buttons here for lowering your power liftgate. So there's your buttons, you can see those. It also has a light up here, like over the shoulder type light that illuminates the cargo area. And then you have a light on the right side and a light here on the left side. But even with all those lights, you can probably tell that when it's dark, when you have black objects in the black dark area, it's still a little bit of a challenge for the camera to pick up. But with my naked eyes, you can see pretty decent, because you have all those points of light. Now, if you had like brighter stuff, if you had something that was lighter, then you could see it a little bit better. But as far as, you know, for most cargo areas don't have this much illumination. Usually they just have one little light, if any. So this is pretty decent. It's not excellent or anything, but it is decent. The inside of the back door, there actually is a puddle light, but it looks like it might be just a standard halogen. It's a little yellow, so it might be a halogen, but it does have a puddle light here. Not super bright, but it does have one. And the rest of the door is dark. And we do have some light interior, so it's going to make it look brighter and everything. But you do have bright lights right here. This dome light just has one, so you can see in the areas in which you don't have the light interior, it's a little bit hard to see, but it's not so bad. Just the way the angle of the light is, the position of it, also the light interior helps. But not too bad back here. Now there's no illumination in the floorboard. Also there's two USB charge ports in the back of the console that are completely dark, so you can't even see them. So the driver's side, the driver's door does have a puddle light. It does look like a standard bulb, the way the color, it's like a yellowish color. And we have some backlit buttons here, but there's no illumination around the handle or the pockets or anything like that. But it does have the backlit buttons on the door, so that's good. There is some floorboard illumination. I don't know if you can see that, but it does have some illumination. It's very subtle. It's not super bright, but it is there. And you can see some backlit buttons here. And the front portion is illuminated by this dome light. And you have the dome light in the back in the center. And they're both about the same brightness, I guess. Okay, so I have the door open so the interior light is on. And so let's go ahead and turn that off by closing the door. And we have a little bit of spillover light coming from this this light from the parking lot, but that's good because it's fairly dark and all you see is backlit buttons. So hopefully you can see a little bit more than that. So all the steering wheel buttons are backlit. Now the cruise control is down here and it is dark. So let's open the door back up and maybe you can see that with the lights on. Right back in here there's a little stalk for your cruise control, and it is completely dark. So you kind of have to know the controls and know where it is and everything to use it at night. There's the gauges. The screen is nice. It's not too bright, and it's just a nice, it's bright enough, and everything's not good on it as far as visibility for the most part. And you have backlit buttons here. Pretty cool looking clock. And there is a little compartment in here. I don't know if you can see that, but it does have some very subtle illumination. Let's see if I can turn the night vision on. And you see that compartment there? Well, there is a very subtle little light. It's not that bright, but it does give you something to go on. When you have something there, I guess it would illuminate it a little bit, but it's better than nothing, I guess. So let's turn the night vision back on, because the cup holders, you can see the backlit buttons here, but the cup holders are dark, and just this area right here is just kind of dark. But let's turn the night vision off because we do have illumination here in this pocket. It's not a huge amount, but it does have a little light in here. So you got a light back here, and you have a little light in here in the front. So it's two lights actually, LED, and then there's some little placeholders for the port, so you can find those in the dark. So they're not precisely backlit illuminated, but they do have like just little lights around them to show you where the ports are, which is great, which is better than nothing. That's really good. The glove compartment has a light in it, but as you can see, let me turn the night vision back on, because there is a light, but it's obscured easily, and it's only on one side. It's very dim, so it's not really that useful. I mean, it's better than nothing, but you know, it just, you can see when I turn the night vision off how very localized and dim it is. But it does have a light in there. Alright, so up here we have some backlit buttons above the rearview mirror. Tap lights, and these are soft touch lights, like so. And then you have a light here. You open up the little mirror. Now this center light, you tap it. When you tap these, you can also tap that center dome light as well, which is pretty cool. There's some lights on the underside of the mirror. This is your home link garage door opener control and your on and off light for your dimmer, interior dimmer, your auto dim rearview mirror, sorry. And then you have a little light under here, which is cool. This gives you some ambient light just below, like in this area. So if it was like pitch dark, that would give you a little bit of ambient light in the center of the vehicle, just enough to where you can get your bearings. It's like a soft moonlight. It seems bright right here, but once it gets scattered out around inside the vehicle, it's not. It just gives you just enough little bit of light. So I think that's good. I think having some ambient light. I think the floorboards could be illuminated a little bit more. Pockets in the doors and pockets, certain places can be illuminated just a little bit brighter. But as far as the headlights and a lot of this vehicle has a lot of good things going for it as far as the lighting in the vehicle. Okay, so now we have the automatic high beams on, so it should not blind anybody if everything goes to plan. And for to understand it, use a camera system to look out for taillights or headlights. So hopefully this will work. So far so good. And it looks like the headlights are a little bit lower on the oncoming lane. You see that? Alright, so now it's blinding. There we go, dimmed. So I guess it didn't see those tail lights at first. But it seems like there's a little bit lower light on the oncoming traffic as far as low beams go. And then a little bit higher on just in front of you. So that's interesting. You see that on the road? I don't know if you can tell. And we have good visibility off to the sides, the right and left. The camera system works pretty good at night. So just kind of in a parking lot, empty parking lot, so you can see what it looks like. I have it on the automatic setting. So when I start driving and creeping really slow, even going forward, the camera automatically just turns on. This is very helpful, day or night. So this is there's some lights in this parking lot, but you can see even right here between these two lights in this dark area, you can see these lines, and the lines are straight, so it's representing the lines very well because it kind of stitches cameras together, so it does a pretty good job of putting them together. So let's go ahead and back in this parking spot. When I put it in reverse, it gives us the backup camera and the top-down view, so we can easily just guide right on in. And the reverse lights are very bright. The LED lights come on and illuminate. So you can see right here that there's a light to the left of the vehicle. On the right, you can see the shadow right in here. But even in that shadow, you can still see the line. It's not super bright, but you can still see that line. So you can, get position in the parking space. So overall, I think that the camera system is great, and the brightness is adequate at nighttime as well. The HUD, it's not entirely visible on camera right now, but it is not overly bright. And it's actually pretty decent. I'm not a big fan of HUDs. I don't really use heads-up displays very good. I don't like them that much. Usually turn them off. Usually because they're blurry to me, or they're overly bright, or they're problematic in some way. This one actually is not that bad, even though there's a lot going on the HUD on this particular vehicle. There's like the speedometer is just part of it. And you can of course customize all that if you like. But at nighttime, usually HUDs really get on my nerves because they're too bright and stuff, but this one's actually pretty good. So looking at this camera, it's kind of hard to tell on the view that I have here, but on this camera, you can see there's a cornering lamp that illuminates, and that's the one in the fog light. And it only turns on when I turn the steering wheel quite sharp. When I turn the steering wheel to the right, it illuminates that cornering lamp, and you can see, hopefully you can see, it illuminates that grass really good to the right. I mean, it is really good low illumination, so it's not blinding anybody at this up high or like a car or anything, but it kind of has like this low fog light illumination. Turn the wheel now, you can see it come on. It illuminates that side part. So if you want to sneak up on your car, don't do it with the key in your pocket, because this is what happens. The car is over there and I'm pretending not to look at it, and I'm just gonna walk by, pretend like I'm not going to engage with it or anything. I'm just walking up to it. It got me. See those handles illuminated? And the interior lights are now on. So that's what happens. It's hard to sneak up on this car when you got the key in your pocket, because it senses that key, and as you approach the door, the lights turn on and it gives you an approach light. Also the interior lights turn on, letting you know that the vehicle is empty. There's no attacker hiding in the vehicle.